board meetings ago to tell you how much I appreciated your willingness to take the time out on the Neumann system and to allow the study to move forward to see really what we were going to deal with in terms of an impact if the plant was retired sooner rather than later, and what it meant to rates. But the part that I was really the most excited about was the community part of it, the community impact that Drake may have in terms of when it's retired and what plans are in place. You know, there's a Fountain Creek Foundation that's starting to meet regularly and talk about water feature. There's the Fountain Creek Watershed District. There's a lot of interest in creating a linear park between Colorado Springs and Pueblo. There's a lot of interest in downtown redevelopment for that area, and all that was going to be part of the discussion. And I thought it was really valuable, and may come up with the same answer that you guys came up with at your last meeting. That it's better for ratepayers, it's better for the community. It's, you know, we need the capacity because we're going to have this increased demand because of the data centers that may be moving here. All the things that that I'm sure were going through your minds, and I'm not blaming you for making the decision. The public doesn't care anymore. Now that you're going to go ahead full bore with Neumann. And by the way, there's 4 of you who are willing to reconsider that. If there's a fifth one of you who would change their mind, then that could change. But I've talked to all the stakeholders. They don't care about the community study. I know Lisa said it's going to be a fair and open process. Nobody cares. People just realize that once you put this 128 million and maybe 138 million with the NOx or whatever it is into Drake, you're not going to retire it in 5 to 10 years. The option is off the table, so the community impact isn't important. I've talked to all the stakeholders. There's some in the audience here today, and maybe I'm wrong, but they all say, don't waste your money on the study. We don't care if you're going to do it next year and it's going to be an open and fair process. It's not going to matter because once you make that big investment in Drake, you're not going to retire it in 5 to 10 years. And that was the window that everybody was hoping would come up, and there may be good reasons for that not to happen. You don't know the reasons. You didn't know them last month and you don't know them today. You don't know what the long-term impact is going to be to keeping this plant viable. And by the way, Murph thinks it's going to be 20, Jan, 15 or 20. I've heard from other people that maybe 30 or 40. I mean, it's probably good for you to know, to understand what that may be, so you can plan down the road. But none of us are going to care. We really aren't, and I wouldn't waste your $500,000 or $300,000 on a community study. I know you need it for other things because of the fire issue and all the other stuff, all the other strains that you have on your budget. But don't waste your money on a study. And I would venture to say there's not one community leader that's going to come forward that's going to say this is a good thing to do. Invest full bore into Neumann. And let's have a big community study next year and spend a lot of time and energy. You're not going to have people participate. And so I just hope that you understand. I know I've beat a dead horse here, and I'm emotional about this, and I apologize. I think it's one of the worst decisions that you've made as a group. And I'll be honest with you. It's going to have a real long-term impact on the viability of this community, both in terms of economically and environmentally. I don't think you brought the public in a way you needed to make this decision, and I don't blame you for it. I know there's lots of pressures today, and you have the $50 million you've invested. You can only save 15, but. There's no poor decision in my mind that's going to affect the community long term. than to say we don't want to listen to what the community has to say. And so I'll leave you with that, and apologize for my passion and emotion.
Eric Verlo.